Rome built an empire of cities. But where are they now? Let's uncover how hundreds of Roman cities vanished from history. When we think of Rome, we imagine grand cities, marble temples, paved streets, and crowded marketplaces. Many of these cities still exist today: London, Paris, and Milan, all were founded by the Romans and continue to thrive. But across the former Roman world, from Britain to Syria, hundreds of other cities vanished. Their names are forgotten, their streets buried in silence. One of them was Termessus, in modern-day Turkey. 1500 years ago, this was a bustling Roman town filled with shops, statues, and citizens. Today, only ruins remain. So, why did cities like Termessus disappear, while others survived? To answer that, we have to understand how the Roman city system worked. The Roman Empire was more than a collection of conquered lands, it was a network of cities. Rome itself started as a small city-state, but as the empire expanded, it built or absorbed thousands of others. By the height of Roman power, around the 2nd century AD, there were over 2,000 cities stretching from Britain to Syria. Each city managed its surrounding countryside. Local leaders, wealthy citizens known as decurions, were responsible for collecting taxes, maintaining peace, and running local affairs. In return, they enjoyed wealth, status, and the benefits of the Pax Romana, the long period of peace and prosperity under Roman rule. To show off their success, these elites built magnificent public structures. Forums, temples, aqueducts, baths, theaters, and wide streets lined with statues. These buildings were more than decoration, they were proof of Roman civilization and the unity of the empire. But the Golden Age didn't last. In the 3rd century AD, the empire faced a series of crises: invasions, civil wars, plagues, and economic collapse. Many cities, especially along the frontiers, were attacked or destroyed by barbarian tribes. Even cities that survived had to protect themselves. Temples and theaters were torn apart so their stones could be used to build defensive walls. Civic pride and public spending began to fade. When stability finally returned in the 4th century, the empire had changed. The wealthy elites, once the backbone of city administration, were no longer interested in local government. Many left to work for the imperial bureaucracy, which offered more money and prestige. Those who stayed behind were often poorer and had less power. As a result, city life began to slow down. Some cities managed to adapt. In Gaul, for example, the cities of Arles and Trier became important political centers and continued to grow. But in regions where the Roman urban tradition had been weaker, such as Northern Europe, many cities simply disappeared. Londinium, the Roman name for London, began losing people as early as the late 2nd century. By the early 5th century, after Rome withdrew its legions from Britain, Londinium was almost completely abandoned. Cities near the Mediterranean Sea had better chances of survival. They remained connected to trade routes and could more easily be absorbed into new kingdoms that emerged after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. However, even these regions faced new challenges. By the 7th and 8th centuries, coastal cities suffered from pirate raids, shifting trade patterns, and declining populations. Some were abandoned completely, while others transformed into smaller medieval towns. Today, ruins like Termessus, Pompeii, and Leptis Magna remind us how central cities were to Roman life. They were centers of administration, economy, and culture, the heart of the empire. When the Roman system collapsed, many of these cities could not survive without the structure and stability it provided. Still, the Roman model of city life, organized government, public infrastructure, and civic identity, influenced Europe for centuries to come. Even modern cities like Paris or London still follow, in many ways, the blueprint of their Roman ancestors. The story of the Roman cities is the story of the empire itself. Rising through order, unity, and ambition. Then fading through division, exhaustion, and change. From the bustling streets of ancient Termessus to the quiet ruins that remain today, these cities remind us of a simple truth. Even the greatest civilizations can crumble. but their ideas can live on forever. The fall of Rome's forgotten cities isn't just a story about the past. It's a lesson about how fragile progress can be. Empires rise, cities grow, and then, slowly, they disappear. Yet every ruin tells a story, and every story brings history back to life. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about Rome's lost cities, don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more history with us next time.